Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Steven, and I'm here to help you learn how to do technical analysis. This week we're looking at Tilt Holdings, TILT, traded on the CSE, also on the OTC. They call themselves an integrated infrastructure and technology cannabis company. Interesting title there. We know them as a grow, vertically integrated, that also sells the delivery devices for cannabis as well as some software, some SaaS services. So interesting combination, strong revenue, not so strong recent management decisions in 2019. Dig into the fundamental analysis this week to see what we're talking about. But let's jump over to the pricing chart now. So you'll see we're looking at TILT. We're looking at the hour chart, and then it's listed on the CSE. Again, looking at our Hakanashi, really easy to see downward trends in red and upward trends in green. Sorry. We also have an EMA, exponential moving average, our AROON, and our RSI, the relative strength index. These are all indicators we've used previously, so you should be pretty comfortable with them. But let's just see what the AROON and the RSI aligned together would have told us about entering and exiting some of these trades. Just a quick recap, the AROON, you kind of look for crosses when it crosses 0, which is this gray line here. So above would be a trigger to buy. As it moves down from positive to negative, it would be a trigger to sell. And the closer it gets to minus 100 means that it's really oversold. The closer that it gets to 100, it's really overbought. That's true of the RSI as well. We've highlighted here the RSI range from 30 to 70. Typically that's what's used. Anything below that range, again, oversold. Anything above, overbought. So the higher they are in magnitude, the more likely we are to exit trades. And as they cross and move and confirm each other's movements, the more likely we are to enter. So let's just see what happened here. We'll go back, and I'll keep my cursor on 0 here. And so you can see we had an AROON cross June 7th. What was the RSI doing there? Not much, right in middle territory. So that may have been a weak entry to get into a trade, but not really backed up by the RSI. And look what happened. Pretty horizontal movement. We then had a cross again here, June 10th, a couple of candles later. Again, the RSI is pretty non-committal. It's not doing much, staying in the zone. And then after that cross, we did see some price movements. The RSI eventually caught up, and bam, we got oversold right here, June 11th. And look what happens. That's the lowest that the pricing chart went during this mini trend. And both the AROON and later on the same candle on the 11th, the RSI are in oversold conditions. So we may have used that either to get out of the trade if we were in it, or to watch very closely for some reverse pricing movement and to get into a trade there. So pretty interesting situation there. We see the same pattern repeat itself during this downward trend. Oversold June 14th and 13th, oversold on the AROON the same period, 13th and 14th. So one of these two hour candles, maybe we would have acted there. Opposite direction, after we get that low oversold, bam, the AROON crosses 0 right around here. There's 0. So on the 14th of June again, and pricing is going up. RSI is back to being non-committal. Let's keep following downward. We're getting closer and closer to our oversold in both indicators until June 20th. And look what happens, really oversold. Both indicators are giving signals between the 20th and the 20, and a couple hours later, also on the 20th, and then bam. Pricing increases from $1.14 up to $1.30, so 15-cent gains. So over 10% gains there, predicted by this cross and previously by those oversold positions. So watch for the oversolds for situations when they bounce back, but also watch for them if you're in that trade to get out. Once you've captured all this profit, get out once you see it's oversold. And the exact same situation is true in the reverse, vice versa. If you were in overbought territory and you were in this trade, and we would have seen the AROON and the RSI creep up into overbought territory, cross 70 here, which it came so close, we would have gotten out of that trade. Don't be greedy. take profit where it exists, and then repeat, repeat, repeat. Hopefully this is helpful. Let me know in the comments section if you have any questions, and take a deep dive into Tilt Holdings. Really interesting company.